Yo, what's up folks? TG here with blue-black wheels in Explorer. It's a bit of a wheels with an asterisk. It's blue-black mid-range. Have a look at the list. It's an asterisk because we don't actually have access to Days Undoing. And so there are only actually a couple of wheels. The idea is you have both a couple of copies of Narset and some Sheoldreds, and then we have 2 copies of Commit to Memory. Memory, of course, each player shovels their hand and graves it into the library, then draws 7 cards, and that combined with Sheoldred's ability, or Narset's to have you gain life and your opponent to lose life, and Narset's ability for your opponent not to draw any cards, or to draw any one card, is pretty strong on the back half of this. And so we can memory kind of the front half for free and cast it with memory. Sorry, we can commit, which is a reasonable kind of like interaction spell. It's a bit expensive at 4 mana, of course, but hey, has some upside. And then memory later on, you can also flash it back with a 1 copy of Torrential Gearhulk. And so that is kind of the gimmick of the deck, but other than that, it's a fairly straightforward blue-black mid-range shell. At 1, we have the efficient removal of Fatal Push, we have a mix of Censor and Make Disappear, at 2 for counterspell-wise, along with a single copy of Negate. Some removal spells with a Go for the Throat and 2 copies of Power Kill, and then a couple of Record of Bankbusters, kind of providing some card advantage, but then also providing a threat along with our other creatures later on. So then the 2 copies of Narset that we mentioned, dig for the spells we require, shut down our opponent's card draw, and of course, combo with Commit to Memory. And then 3 copies of Sinister Sabotage as a kind of like hard counter spell. Then creature-wise, 4 copies of Graveyard Trespasser. One of the nice things about this deck is that a lot of the removal, like none of these things are very susceptible to traditional removal. And so like Graveyard Trespasser, your opponent has discard cards, so they're paying resources to deal with this. Sheoldred being a 4/5 puts it out of range of a lot of the damage-based removal. And so yeah, pretty efficient. It blocks very well, and then also provides a threat. And obviously, if you are fine with your kind of like counter spell package to go, all right, go flip it and accelerate that way while holding up counter spell protection and play a little Graveyard Trespasser as Delver of Secrets game plan. 3 copies of Sheoldred, not a ton to say here. Obviously, combos with Commit to Memory, but also is just like one of the, up there for best creature in the format. And then a single copy of Baleful Mastery, kind of as a catch-all for creatures and planeswalkers. And sometimes you do cast it for 2. It's nice to just be able to catch anything, be efficient, curve-wise, fitting your mana in. And then 2 copies of Sky Sovereign Console Flagship. Obviously, we have creatures to corrupt between the Graveyard Trespasser, the token that eventually comes off of Bankbuster, the Sheoldreds themselves, but also on its face of it just provides a handy removal spell. And then we have at the top kind of, well, the commits I guess could be here. But the top we've got a couple of Shark Typhoons kind of filling that card, but also again providing, and you can use the Shark Typhoon tokens again to create the Sky Sovereign, but providing a threat that you can cast for 6, and some decks just have no way to interact with that. But largely, hey, you're cycling it to make tokens, fit things in, block, crew, attack, all that kind of stuff, and then a single copy of Torrential Gearhulk. I did have 2 for a point, but hey, you don't want to be too clunky at the top end with these. Mana base, fairly straightforward. We've got Fields of Ruin and Fatal Passage, which helpfully turn on Fatal Push. And then we have 4 Watery Graves, a couple of Fettered Pools, 3 Drowned Catacombs, we do have a checkland kind of mana base, 3 copies of Clearwater Pathway, a couple of Swamps, a few Islands, a single Hive Dive Turret, a single Hall of the Storm Giants, and then a Castle Fortress. Some nice utility in our mana base. Let's take a look at the sideboard. So, 2 copies of Radiant Enfeeblement, obviously versus white, but can be useful in other places as well. A single Pithing Needle. There are some problematic permanents that, hey, you don't have great answers necessarily for like artifacts and enchantments within blue-black, and so being able to Pithing Needle stuff, or even manlands in certain cases. But yeah, 2 copies of Enlightened Thirst for Graveyard Hate, a couple of Mystical Disputes for the blue decks, Aether Gust versus red and green. The 3rd copy of Narset, which comes in kind of versus control, but potentially also other mid-range decks. The mid-range is where this kind of like combo game plan with like Narset, Sheoldred, and Commit to Memory is kind of the most potent, just because you have the time to kind of set it up. You're not under like tons of pressure from aggro combo. And the individual pieces are really strong in those matchups as well. Then we have a couple of sweepers versus aggro with Ritual Assert. Obviously, we're not playing a ton of early creatures that they do get. The Trespasser does kill it, but if you have the certain the ritual in hand, you could just not play the Trespasser. Too bad. But it's kind of the most efficient removal spell versus aggro out of the board, I think. A couple of Invoke Despairs, which is a nice one we get to play. Obviously, we do have some islands here. Going to be a little careful. But it's just kind of game over versus, well, game over versus some decks, but also just like a huge swing versus other decks. And again, in those mid-range kind of matches, can just kind of catch everything. And then the one of the nice reasons of playing black is to play Thought Distortion. Can't be countered. Target opponent reveals their hand. Exile all non-creature, non-land cards from that player's hand and graveyard. It's just nuts. Cast as control, and it's pretty GG. So yeah, that's the deck. I'm gonna hop into some best of 3 ranked matches. I'm just looking here. There are a few decks I've got kind of lined up to play. One of the things that's worth bearing in mind is on January 10th, the Decathlon Explorer best of 3 will be taking place. Well, from the 10th to like the 13th, I think it is. And so if you have any decks that you want to see me play or play again, if there's any, you have any favorites, like Grixis I know has been asked for a little bit, so I'm definitely going to do a run with this. Bat Spirit is something I'm working on recently. We just did Boris Feather, so if you're interested in that, check that out. I have another couple of things floating around. But yeah. I'm not I've kind of stopped posting the Decathlon stuff, because I've only been doing like one run of each, because recording a bunch of them is quite a lot, just in terms of time commitments, job and stuff. Yeah, I just don't have enough time to really do it. I don't think there's enough interest really, compared to kind of the normal Explorer stuff that I've been doing. And so, but I will be doing a bunch of the Explorer ones. That I'm still going to do it off camera, and maybe if I qualify for the finals, I'll record that and do a video on it. But yeah, I realize I've been like daily uploading for ages, and coming back from the holidays has been interesting. Hey, at the same time, thank you for all the support. The over the last like few months has been amazing. We hit. It feels like only a couple of weeks ago we hit like 100 subscribers, and now we're at like 200, nearly 300. So thank you all so very much. At which point also, if you're not subscribed to the channel and you're interested in Explorer stuff, please do subscribe. Explorer is kind of the main thing I do. I'll dabble in other formats a bit. Occasionally I'll do some IRL, that type of stuff. Like I know I'm going to a Modern and Pioneer event, kind of mid-February. I might do something for then. But hey, yeah, check it out. Be cool to have you around. So, I probably took a minute there. This looks pretty solid. Like we have interaction on turn 2. We're lacking early removal, but we don't know. We're kind of going in blind, and we might be able to find some off this Narset. So we'll keep this. The one thing about this Narset is that it might change how we want to sequence our lands. Versus red, potentially not. Ooh. The Strategic Outcomes is actually a really nice draw. It means we can feel happy about leading with Fetid Pools. Don't need to worry about having a second blue if we want to end up casting this. There's a very good chance we end up playing the Trespasser on turn 3, because it blocks so well versus red, and at worst we'll use up a card from their hand if they've got a removal spell for it. And so, yeah. As it is though, we'll make the Dragon Catacombs. And just like go. So we'll aim to use the Make Disappear here on something. And then untap, make the Graveyard Trespasser is the plan. It could change depending on what we draw. But yeah, we'll see. And down to 13. Like, it'd be really nice to have a removal spell in here. This is kind of good because we still get to use the Make Disappear here, do that creature out, and put a creature in the graveyard for us to trigger the Trespasser off of. I'm just gonna play the Swamp for now. Yeah, we'll make Trespasser. Threaten to block the etching, and if they have a removal spell, yeah, we take some damage. But yeah, they have to discard a card from hand as well, so at least use some of their resources. We are kind of out of steam. We maybe get to go, see like here. We're going to go back down to 9. We've used a couple of cards. That Chain Whirler. Interesting. Okay, we've drawn land. I kind of want to downtick Narset before I decide what to draw. I don't need to worry about threatening blue or black, basically. Yeah. We'll just see what we hit here. Kind of forced to take the Charlotte Typhoon. Because, maybe it's in the sensor just to get an extra draw here. This is the only one that actually impacts what's going on the board, but the sensor potentially draws into something more powerful. The way this is going, like I think I basically have to play a black source to threaten land. I'm better off playing the pathway because the fatal passage could potentially trigger revolt on like a fatal push if they have a 3-drop. Okay. Playing the Narset out, well, it was the only thing we could do, but also potentially soak some damage here. If we're fortunate. No, okay. Down to 5. Fable. Interesting. Water Grave to draw. Kind of looking for a 2-mana removal spell. Okay. Well, this is one matchup where the commit to memory stuff is not very good at all. I'm just going to play Fable Passage, say go. Yeah. Also means we'll have our Trespasser flipped when we get it. Oh, they discarded. Got him. It was a mountain, to be fair. Any attack triggers? 3, 5. I think the treasure matters a lot less than the... Actually, they just got on land. You basically want to kill the Swiss Spear with a Fatal Push and then trade the creatures. I'm going to go find an island here. That's fine. They've seen the Fatal Push, to be fair. They can have another, if they just have another burn spell, it makes sense. We got a 1 here. What's the last card? Carries Ever's problematic. Either the Narset in play, which is now not doing much. We don't have very many outs here, to be honest. Just cycle the sensor. See if we can get that. Game 1 is very tough versus Agri. Yeah, with us at 1, this is done. We convince them to do... No. It's not disrespect to our opponent. Okay. So, unfortunately, this is not a matchup for Commit to Memory. I'm going to play a few matches, so we will hopefully get to see the stuff later on. It's also not great for Narset. The Reason Fieldmen are not very good against the 1-drops currently in Mono Red's arsenal. Or I guess because this format doesn't rotate. The Aether Gusts, the Rituals. Ooh. Huh. That's tough. Essentially, do you keep a commit? The thing about Narset is that it finds you, like, it can dig you towards the rituals and stuff. Anything else I'm not super happy with? There are a number of cards that are a little weak. Obviously, we're better off on the play. But, ooh. We don't have a ton to bring in here. Sky Sovereigns have plenty of targets, even if they're a little slow. On the play, these 2-mana counter spells are okay. I think I'm going to leave one of them in. We leave a commit just so that we can commit Sheoldred. But it feels a little wonky. Yeah, I think this is what we're going to do. We have a good amount of early removal. And now we have sweepers. And we have some cards that can kind of take over the game a little bit. The draw's rough, and we just didn't have much interaction there. So yeah, we will play first. Looks a little awkward, but we have a couple of, like, 2 lands is not amazing, but we have a couple of pieces of early interaction that should get us through. We just need to draw land kind of in our first 3 draw steps. And the sharks have been potentially to cycle, which, you know, whatever we need to do. They mulligans. I'm going to lead Fable Passage. And it's okay. Alright, cool. Don't get horribly punished. And go grab an island with the intention to play Pathway on. Actually, no. We're gonna swamp, because if we draw like a land that only taps for... Oh, this is fine. Because with the Ritualist, it makes sense to grab the... And this can play for either, it makes sense to grab the swamp. Even though we have double blue spells we can draw into. Ew. You know, okay, if we want to be more mana efficient, or... And given the way our hand looks, I'm fine to just use the removal spell more suited to the task, even if it's less efficient for our mana. Because we're kind of cutting it anyway, I don't think we're likely to be able to fit like Fatal Push plus a spell in anytime soon. We'll make the Trespasser here. And now, on the mulligan, unfortunately for our opponent, the Trespasser is a little bit more oppressive. Let's see again. Kind of 2 for 1. It was a little annoying, but Ritual sweeps kind of all of this up. I'm going to attack here. We have double... I'm not super keen to put more... I don't want to play out Trespasser because we're planning on casting this once this is flipped. Ideally once this is flipped. I'm just going to pass so we flip over to a 4/4. At least dodge most of their removals, so even if they like discard some cards, find a lightning strike, they still can't really get there. And then we've got Shark Dolphin here, which will make some tokens if they decide to make some blocks, but also isn't a total loss to drawing a card off of it if we do this into the Ritual shot later. It might be they choose not to try and make an attack here as well, which would be tough. 4 tag. Maybe the spear doesn't catch it, so you don't really have anything to out that. Maybe you just have to kind of accelerate the clock a little bit. Interesting. This also gets kind of swept up. I think I cycle Typhoon, so I have another blocker on their turn. Oh, we do have the one copy in the gate. That's true. Alright, something was interesting. Let's say go again. This flips back. Then we're looking to reach the set on that on our next turn. So if they play a creature that dies to ritual set, then we will not counter it. But if they play a creature that does not die to it, then we will counter it. And then we can go Graveyard Trespasser again. We'll see. Mountain play. Are they gonna all out attack here? Or are they just gonna pass? And if given what they have access to, and I think I shouldn't crack this. Yeah, passing makes some sense. Alright, Fatal Push is a nice draw. We'll get some damage in. Ooh, they didn't zone us off the life, so I want to hover that Roiling Vortex, because I think it has the one red ability to stop your opponent's gaining life. So they're presumably going to try and... they want to crack the Ram Up Ruins. Makes some sense. No blocks here, and then we've got Ritualist into Passage plus Fatal Push. Okay. Now they're leading in the race to the Roiling Vortex. They don't have the island in play. We get to make a Trespasser, which currently is still the good side, and has plenty of stuff to eat. He did not sacrifice that. Alright. Okay, looking pretty good. At least for this game. 2-man land there, 8th Augusta decent draw as well. Well, the Trespasser. Look to... let me see again. No sabotage, we do the push, we have an 8th August, we have Go for the Throat. I will just gonna 8th August this. Just stall it. If they want to put it back on top, that is fine. In other situations, we could look to maybe 8th August the Vortex if we were just going to die to it and then counter it all the way back down. But here we can use your opponent's cards to their advantage a bit. Alright, cool. So go to game 3, and again, now we're on the draw again. Things get a little bit tougher. I don't think bringing is reasonable. In a game where Hearst is good, we're already winning, and we probably don't have time to catch stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Like, pretty much every threat red plays is an XG nowadays. At least in this like the kind of standard build. There are some things, obviously, like Firebrand. You got double fatal push, Bevel Mastery, and leading up to Sheoldred, so I think it'd be silly to mulligan. Lands are a little awkward, but be okay. Do I shot myself for a Watery Grave? What point do I shot myself? So if they untap, make like Swift Spear, they got hasty attackers, they got like Robbers of the Rich. I doubt that's the case looking at what like carries up and stuff. I'll play this untapped. Something, cast more spells, win more games. Just do this now. We know at least that... Oh, gosh. You want to draw one more land here. You know we're going to have a target for one of our fatal pushes this turn. We're not in horrendous trouble. Depends what they follow that up with. This time I think we get the islands. We got the sabotage. Oh, we got Sheoldred. No, because we got Fatal Passage. So we cast the sabotage before the Sheoldred. That's the worst possible land to draw. Oh, at least it feels like it. Okay, so we can cycle Shot Typhoon here. We can potentially cast a Baleful Mastery. Our opponent did nothing with their turn, which feels good, but means that potentially their hand is full of like really powerful fours. Maybe Torbrand, Chandra, that kind of thing. So if they go like all land, if they go like land Torbrand here, we'll mastery the Torbrand, I think, and then look to untap, make Sheoldred. Yeah, I think we take this. Why would they? I don't want to mastery it, that's for sure. Alright, Chandra. Similarly, we'll mastery Chandra.
Hey, over here. Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Does mean we can use a Shot Typhoon later potentially to Get an extra shoulder draw.
That was a disaster.
The hope. Yeah, Hulk. Not quite time for you yet. Need to make sure we get a swamp here. I'll do the misclick. We'll make Sheoldred say go. See if they have any good answers to it. Immediate of the souls here. Fair enough. Not over yet. So we go down to 11, down to 9. As I go, we have Fatal Push with Shark Typhoon. Depends what they have. Would I rather kill Torbrand? Mana efficiency says we should cycle the Shark Typhoon, try and get the land for the, try and get towards lands for the, try and get towards lands for this Torrential Gearhulk. We got a 7 here. Get to cycle this. Maybe that's dumb. Maybe I should have cycled this for 2 blocked and then kill the Torbrand on my turn. Yeah, almost certainly actually. Oh, that's tough. Alright, we didn't hit a land. Okay. If just need to promote my low total and commit one of these. Seems like the dumbest thing ever. But it does seem better than going to 3. Down to 5. They might just have lethal here. A cast Brunkish Giant. Well, technically not dead. Alright, this is a bit of a rough one. We drew our 5th land. Get there. Both these put us to 1, we know that they're drawing 1 damage to their next turn anyway. Alright. Okay. They're gonna have a million ways to kill us, let's hope they use one soon. Oh. Stable. Yeah, unfortunately, know that the top card of the... Oh, now we know the top card of the library is a Giant. But yeah, we are very bad. Alright. We made a good, had a nice game 2, but I put up a little bit of a fight in game 3. We needed that 5th land a couple of turns earlier, really. Unfortunate. Yeah, matchup's pretty tough. You can definitely play a little Anglo side mod a little bit more against it. I think you're in a reasonable spot. Like, you've got a lot of early removal. You have some big haymakers. Them having the perfect answer for Sheoldred is to be like somewhat expected games 2 and 3. But like, we know it's gonna be in the deck, but you play the cards to draw them. Okay. Can't be too unhappy about it. Yeah, I think that if we go to the line that I was talking about, is we chart typing for 4, get to block the 2/2 that way, then that kill the Torbrand. It just gets us like a it's just more, well, yeah, it lets us use like 2 kill spot. It lets us be more efficient. And while getting the card deeper still. So it was the correct line, I think. I don't know if it wins us the game. But yeah, it was better than what I did, so keep that in mind. And anybody who's already written that in the comments, thank you. Alright. Let's go again. Yeah. What I've been doing is trying to get three matches in. I know the which was it? Oh yeah, the motherfucker we played against like Blue White Yorion twice, which is kind of bizarre. It's not really a popular archetype. I'm also really bad at looking at people's like tags. So I will almost never notice if we play the same player twice in a row. I'll be like, oh, this person's on the same deck. I have no idea if they were the last player or not. There's like a small chance we draw a land that's problematic if we don't play the hall now. You know, like we could represent Fatal Push, but like, okay. Okay. Spirits. Interesting. We have some cheap early interaction, which is good. It's kind of the key. Well, cheap interaction is the key to this matchup, which is, I guess, the case for a lot of matchups. But they don't have Curious Obsession, which is fine. I'm just gonna take this damage here. See if they want to go tap and untap. Okay. We'll try and power work out on end step. Draw out like a Rattle Chains now. Put like a potential Rattle Chains now. If I have a normal counter spell too, they might not want to burn that on the Spectral Sailor. Yeah. One of the decks actually that I've got kind of lined up to play is Bat Spirits. That should come out like a couple of days after this one. This is, I think, will come out on Monday. I'm recording it the day before. And then that should, the aim is for that to come out on not Tuesday, Wednesday. Good power could kill the Rattle Chains now. So the thing with Rattle Chains that gives their entire deck flash. Which means like if we pass with a sabotage up, it's probably not doing anything. The other option is like play an Narset, try and dig for more interaction. Actually not sure. Because of the like huge advantage Rattle Chains does give, I think we just power kill it now. Let's go. Sky Sovereign's a powerful card in the matchup if you can ever resolve it. The problem is finding a way to have your opponent kind of steps out like that. Man, wish I played the Narset. Alright. We live and learn. Well. Taking the results of one match isn't the greatest. But hey. It's a feels bad for now. That's all we know. Alright, I was gonna keep the card advantage live. And plan on the super nasty guy like says. Sheoldred's interesting. Also, that's interesting. I don't think what our opponents. Basically, we have to force them to use a counter spell here. We can also kind of burn their mana a little bit. But they're we basically want to create a situation over the next turn cycle where they're tapped out. I don't know if we do that better with Sabotage or Narset. If we don't deploy to the board, they've got no real reason to play anything, is the problem. I'm going to make the Narset, and threatens their card draw, shuts that off, at least it's a bit of a stop for that, but also find this early interaction with which to kind of draw them out. But yeah, basically whatever we play there's getting counterspelled. I mean, you kind of need to just run them out of counters or something. Because we don't have like if we had like a removal spell, say, instead of Sabotage, we're much more inclined to just pass the turn and say try and get them to force them to use mana to use that here. Here they've used some down to 3. But hey. Which is interesting. I think we play the Sky Sovereign. They have 4 cards. This is tough. This is kind of the game. Not the game 1 situation. This is kind of how Spirits plays. Once they have a creature board and you can just kind of play, draw, go with it. Kind of at the mercy of what they draw. If they keep drawing these cards, we're in a lot of trouble. The reason to use like the Sky Sovereign there rather than out the Sheoldred is that now we have the option to like draw something like Fatal Push and at least be able to cast. If we can double spell on a turn, potentially kind of get through the wall over here. That's not so great. The problem with this is that we're just dead. I kind of like cast Sheoldred, go, and then when they attack, cycle Sensitive. Potentially have a bounce thing for this. Another creature would also do it though. Yeah. I like this a little bit better than Cycle Sense to try and find like the one removal spell. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll do the business. Unless they don't tackle everything. Alright, well, let's see what we gotta draw. Never do this. The field. Let's go to game 2. So here's aggro, here's tempo. Here. Disputes. Great. Raven Feeble's an interesting one. I think there are enough cards that we want to potentially take out that we have these. The ritual sets are interesting. And I think we're good with the rest. Excuse me. How are we gonna make room? I'm gonna go down on one commit, but I'm gonna leave one in for shenanigans here. I think the Narsets are slow. Better certainly on the play. 10 cards are better on the play is kind of, yeah, not that. I don't love the Bankbusters. Yeah, aerial injection is really important. On the play at least, like these sensors have a better chance of snagging things. And again, we just cycle and try and find our other ally removal. The problem with Raven Enfeeblement, because while they have a bunch of X1s, they also have some Lords. And the Lords make these. But that is okay. For Mastery, I find these shirts I think is kind of great. Narsets, kind of a little awkward, but we'll deal with it. And then the other thing is like Sinister Sabotage. 3 can be quite expensive. I think. Because also can do rituals. We actually cut the 3 mana counter spells. Alright. See how it goes. See how it goes. Yeah, this is interesting. It seems like the consensus is that excuse me, I don't know what those words are. It seems like the consensus seems to be or people the player base has decided that Mono Blue is still kind of the way to go and explore. And I'm recording a Bant video soon. I mentioned kind of arguing that that's not necessarily has to be that it's not like set in stone. You're missing a couple of white cards, which is kind of funny because it's the white cards that are missing that make the company version less good. It can be argued. Giant Catacombs. Them not having a 1-drop is actually pretty huge. Not even a Spectral Sailor. As the advantage that Bant tends to have, we'll be efficient here and just make disappear this. Is the advantage that Bant tends to have is that you get to put all these powerful 3-drops into play. And Spell Queller is kind of chief among those. Yeah. Sure. But there are still a bunch. If you search Spirit and look at the 3-drops, there's a ton. And that is that you play less of the one. You don't play the 1-man interaction. You play less of the kind of like do nothing spirits and try and really leverage. We'll plan to go for the throw this. Plan to really leverage like the powerful 3s. And so yeah, without Spell Queller, without Selfless Spirit, blue-white isn't good enough by itself, and that I can definitely agree with. But I think Bant with Collector Company providing you just a real hammer. Maybe Shovel's a better word. Is still great. I'm just thinking about something here. Not sure what. I'm curious. The other thing is that, like, so the 2 decks play very differently. The Bant deck is a much more of a mid-range deck, And this version here is much more like tempo. I'm going to put a threat out. I'm going to protect it. I'm going to play a bunch of counter spells. They try and save the Fatal Passage until we have a Fatal Push to use with it. The sense is looking a little, well, suspect, but we're just going to probably end up cycling it away, given they now have 4 lands. This game is playing out in a weird way. Seeing it itself is fine. You're very overview with that. Yeah, it's a bit strange to be playing it in main phase. It is possible because we've gone draw go, and that. They're not entirely sure where we are. The other thing is they have like rattle chains. And so the way I think this might go is that we go Rare with Human, they go rattle chains, we go Mystical Dispute, they go Counterspell, we go Censor. We'll see. The way that it draws out that exchange favors our opponent because they have a favor still in play. But we are on their turn, we're going to ours to draw something relevant. As it turns out, this is fine. We have 3 mana now, they're kind of thinking. Let's see. 1, 2. I think I'm just gonna untap. Alright. Go passage. Yeah, let's still at 4 cards. We're gonna get to maybe scry off Vantress. Oh, nice. Alright, we actually get to use our sensor. So we feel good. What to do? We're a little flooded right now. I'm not overly worried about Fatal Push triggering here. Brazen Borrow, one of the few things that actually matters quite a lot for. I'm gonna maybe try and sneak something on lands. It's basically dispute looking worse as time goes on. To be fair. Alright, Fetid Pools we will plan to cycle, but I don't want to necessarily do it yet. I'm gonna play this Warrior Graves. Apps. No. I'm gonna play life. Because we go, I want to activate the Castle of Interest. If they try and do something like funky and stuff or something, then potentially we get something. This unfortunately goes. We should cycle Fetid Pools. Just see. Okay. It's fine. Do you have a follow up on top of that? No, okay. Trespasser. What say you? A Trespasser is an interesting one. It doesn't really interact with any of their creatures, but provides us a reasonable threat that it's hard for them to deal with. And then, because they want to go draw go anyway, while they can double spell fairly well, they kind of want to double spell on our turn. And similarly, they want to flip this as well. The weird one. And it does clock fairly quickly if we've got interaction for their other stuff. Even if there's a chance it trades with a faceless haven. Unfortunately, Obsession gets 3. Resolve. I didn't expect this game to be as draw go as it has been. It looks like the Sinister Saboteurs may have actually been better, but hard to say. Here's a also stops us flipping. We have to try and play Torians a little bit. I'm offering a trade of the Faceless Haven for the Trespasser. He might take here. He shuts them down a little bit, mana-wise. Oh, it's a 5-4 for the Phantom. Oh dear. Well, this is a combinator. Alright. I'll fire this off while we can still use it. Ah, jeez. I get it. Oh, humbug. Yeah, that probably seals it. We have some live draws, but depending on what they have, like, could be pretty rough now. I can't believe I did that. Oh dear. I want to basically like scry here. You can also threaten to animate the hall now to plot the Faceless Haven. Alright. We have Punk Cat at 1. Ah, I can't believe I did that. Alright. We could have just attacked with the Hive, left that back, and then flipped it. It would have been pretty golden. And this time, this one is Ward 3. They like exactly unsummon. Alright, so I guess we trade backwards and forwards. Front 10, they've got a handful of cards. We're not going to get to scry here. Do I want to scry them? I was about to say on my upkeep. I didn't set a stop. Oh, I'm just tilted. Okay. Let's see. I should do this manually. Let's go blue, black. I see. Get both of these. Even as I could have kind of done on that turn. How do we kill? There's so much mana. There's 6. Most of the counter spells are like pay X though, rather than like other things. They're kind of not that bad versus their counter spells. Route change is the thing that actually gets us. Did I evolve? Actually set up keep this time. That does get it. Yeah, we have pay 3 covered. Not pay 4. I'm at a pay 4. We can kill one of these, go down to... No, so we kill one of these, go down to 3. Basically trying to work out if Sheoldred's a good enough draw the second time, I think so. We have to basically play like our opponents don't have anything. and then try and pay on any counter spells. Oh dear. Yeah, we gotta do this on away. Try and kill the Phantom. You can pay for one, please. I'll piss off that. Oh dear. Yeah, so I threw away the Graveyard Trespasser, which would have... I don't know. Yeah, we made a couple of silly mistakes there. Regardless of not whether they, in fact, cost us the game. It's a bit of a misplay. So, Lost versus Red, Lost versus Spirits. Let's hop in for a third match. Welcome to the Lost Brigade. Yeah. Oh, the other thing that's worth talking about is Days Undoing. So we don't have it in the format yet. It's on a list of cards that potentially gets put in an anthology set. That's probably the only way for it to really come through. They decided not to put it in this one. They kind of went for this kind of Eldrazi theme, then included some other stuff. I'm gonna play one lander. We keep this, it's a little awkward. We're gonna keep 6 and bottom the commit. Oh, we've not done our thing yet, have we? We're gonna bottom it. We'll be sensible. I'll play it on tap water again. It's good versus after the next. So versus green. Green is actually one of another big proponent for like why this version of the deck is actually pretty solid. Traditionally, like this matchup is practically unwinnable. Like blue black into duck ourselves. Blue black into green. They just kind of get to go over the top of you. You don't have the right answers to do other things. Essentially, you can sideboard into Ugin, try and make it a little bit better. I'm just gonna sabotage this. Gives them so much devotion. Then we can untap Fatal Push. We'll get rid of that. Untap Fatal Push the Paradise Druid. Okay, we got another one. Essentially, we can snag something here. We shouldn't have the 3 mana. Fine. But basically, the wheels aspect where you're kind of going Narset or Sheoldred's the main thing. Sheoldred gives you a real nice way to kill them. I was gonna say, Cure is the kind of card we're hoping to see. I'm gonna main phase activate this. Go land. Excellent. Alright. Forest. So now they have like Karn mana. Haven is annoying. Just gonna say go here. We can draw the counter spells, like we can draw like one other way is to try and go Typhoon. I think we might try and resolve the Typhoon though. We draw here. Sheoldred, interesting. Resolved. So now they have a bunch of devotion. Do we wanna... I don't really want to cycle the Typhoon. That's what I'm thinking about. Also kind of don't want to sack this yet. Just might draw a land. This is reasonable. Do here, just take this out of the way. So with that, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is enough to cast one copy of Storm, the festival. With it, they have a lot more enabled. A case of like, do we want to go like Sheoldred, and start killing them or give them a turn, because so this is kind of giving them 1 more mana, which could work out into some more mana. That's the problems that they can kind of like go off and off and off. I think I'm gonna cast the Sheoldred. We're gonna try and do our thing for once. Alright. On the face of it, like I said, it's only giving them 1 more mana. They've done a lot of the cheaper things they've been able to do already. And so, I don't know. They kind of, because the system basically comes down to they can storm the festival without them having the Cavalier in play, and so killing it isn't worth as much per se. They've also tapped the Nexus here. Maybe they have a Kiora. So it's still not going to do that much right this second. I could crew and block, but I don't think I want. Let's take this. Alright, so we drew untap land. Ah. So let's just play Shot Typhoon. We can now Baleful the Cavalier or the they have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have the flashback. 8. So without a Cavalier, well, they can double activate Nick Fast, which is pretty. We don't have a way to just kill the hero other than just exiling it. Maybe that's the way to play this. And then we try and do some Shot Typhoon things. We're gonna make them draw the card. Okay. So anyway, like back to activation, we've got a couple of things to draw cards on our side. And yeah, they have a lot of mana with. Okay. We have like negate to draw to. I'm not under a ton of pressure to block with to block this turn with the token. I think I'm gonna activate this. In fact, I'm now gonna fetch and activate it. And we'll sabotage it. Okay. One on the bottom. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They still have. Is that 6? Actually, this is 3, isn't it? Okay, they've got a new on the festival they can cast. Very tricky. On Kiora. Okay. Untap Kiora. Oh, they can untap Necklace, but they can't get another mana to activate it, right? I can untap the 2 mana land, cast something for 3. Trying to think what they're gonna grab. You got the Might. Okay. Does gain life.
Nature flows with vigor.
Wait. You not create that? I feel like that was potentially. Man, we're just gonna block one of these with the pilot. Yeah, it didn't let us here. So they get out. Oh. Not like Fable Passage plus Fatal Push. I think Khan's pretty important. They're gonna get to just go off the Summer Festival though, so maybe we'll find another one. Sort of regretting bottoming the commit earlier. We did use both there, but there's a Lanta today. I'm trying to kill Khan pass. Oh no, we'll play the land. We'll see here. You can make a pretty hefty shot Typhoon, but not one that can put a Catalyst. We are in trouble. New Khan, fair enough. Oh, we couldn't crew because it's a vehicle. Yeah. Yeah, we couldn't activate this set of card and play. Duh. Thinking super clearly today. Escape leveler. Yeah, that's a problem.
The ocean surges, life thrives.
Untap activate. 14? Okay, they are gonna cast it. Target. Oh, it's a caster, isn't it? I'm gonna cycle the shot Typhoon now. Problem is it's got an Earth. One, two, three, four. No, I want to cycle it. Leave us 3 mana. That's gonna get rid of it. Okay. Well, they've got 7. Yeah, this has been a fairly tough session, I think. I do think this Blue Backlist is good, if you're interested. I've been playing it a little bit, just kind of tuning some things in preparation. It's gone fairly well. Yeah, we have Fatal Push for the lair. I guess I'm going to say no blocks. Alright, let's scoop it up. Lost every game one. So, versus green. The thing about Invoke Despair is that it tags Planeswalkers, which is important. Pithy Needle versus all the Planeswalkers. This is actually sort of tempting. I think the more I play with it, though, I will also say that maybe I wanna add another land. You're being a little optimistic. We've got like a bunch of effects that draw cards. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Rituals almost interesting. Actually, rituals sounds interesting, but it's actually quite bad because the troll goes on the lands anyway. All they want is to make mana. We're still kind of serving their purpose, even if it cleans up the elves. Well, you bunch of real stars for the elves anyway. Okay. So I think we actually kind of need to rely on Narset, a little bit, with commit, but it's more relying on the Sheoldred as a way to actually kill them. I'm taking the Sky Sovereigns out. The Shard Typhoons, I think, do want to stay in. I'm actually not keen on the extra Narset, and I might actually cut another one. The thing is, they're not. You're not cutting them off from drawing cards. You're thinking towards like this. Well, this, which is fine. I think the Bankbuster's also probably pretty suspect. Neither of these are fantastic. In fact, I might bring the Mystical Disputes in and really try and narrow down to. Yeah, I might do. The Bankbusters at least let us play kind of draw go, provide us with a bunch of advantage, and then like you can turn it around and start attacking with them. Whereas the other things don't work out. So I think this is the way to play. It's a little awkward. We're really trying to Sheoldred memory though. Yeah, I think my last few video titles have been like redeeming Roy Heroic with Feather, motherfuckers being slept on, whereas I think I need to say I'm trying out Blueback Wheels. Because, you know, the results, as you can see here, have not been that sick. But I mean, we've gone 0-2 so far, and we're currently losing in our third match. But hey, I do think the deck's quite good. Been a little unfortunate. Yeah. I'll leave the Fat Pills. This is the one of the matches where this negate is actually super good. Okay, we have a Mystic, which kind of lines up with how we want to play our turn out. So we get to play this tapped and kill it. They're actually a pretty hefty. Well, no. Oh, wait, no. Because they mulligan to 5? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Yeah, they mulligan to 5. Okay. Given the opportunity, we're going to try and use energy. We want to go like either counter into Sheoldred or I think just gonna slam Sheoldred here. They're nothing for 4. Potentially they have Land Cavalier. We have answers for the Cavalier, and the Sheoldred's gonna start kind of ticking away. Nicholas is a nice one. Chandra also pretty great to be. They tick up on nothing? Oh, they don't want it to die. Right, I guess that makes sense. Oh. I have a bunch of kind of creatures. I'm gonna tap the Nissa here. This gives them access to a ton of mana, for what it's worth. We kind of need to double. Well, ideally we get to double counter spell or here, but yeah. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Off bet. Off rip. The Gatestorm Festival. Now, if they animate a land, we can kill it.
The land fights for us.
On the kill Nissa, kill the land plan.
I cannot protect you anymore.
Right, leaves them with some stuff. They still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, which is enough for Cavalier. Which, hey, is a problem unto like by itself. But, hey. It's about as good as we could have asked for. This is like how we drew it up, kind of. I'm not on the attack with the hive yet, but now we have double counter spell. I missed lethal. I could have attacked with the token. With the mainland. I kind of tunneled on thinking we were just going to field over in the next time somewhere. Playing blue black makes me very sloppy. Yeah. Yeah. We should have attacked with the mainland. They're still. Again. Oh dear. Wake up. Okay, how do you feel about how we sideboarded? Again, I still think the last sets are not fantastic, but I think I like them better than our other cards. Like, Sky Sovereign's not doing much at all. Like, you can pick off Planeswalkers, but like only after they've activated and already kind of done their thing. Full Distortion is like kind of interesting. But no, basically. And then the Trespassers are kind of what will block our opponent fairly quickly. But I think that's kind of a pipe dream versus green, where they are gonna put some big creatures to play. Again, we're kind of leaning hard on Sheoldred to win this matchup. And having enough interaction, and just kind of having the interaction for the cards they have and running them out of spells. I would like to commit to Murmuring with Sheoldred and play at least once. I think we can keep this on the draw. I want to draw like Island for turn. Sorry, Swamp for turn. The Swamp for turn? Okay, we didn't get a Swamp. That's rough. So you get potentially their best start here. Okay, they don't have Elf into Troll, which is not as bad as it could have been. Because we have the negate, I kind of want to say land go. But we have a Pithing Needle for any problematic planeswalkers. If we kill the elf, they've got 4 mana. I think because of the Pithing Needle, we can afford to push. This gives them access to 5, which is like Cavalier. Which we don't have an answer for Cavalier right now. I think we just have to do this. And if they go Khan, we have like a Pithing Needle, but it's a little awkward. Okay. All of a sudden, looking okay. But, okay. I'm expecting land 5 Cavalier. Or land 5 Nissa, looking at the way they've built. Kiora, we will. Well, the thing with Khan. No, because you still have the passive ability with it in play. I think I'd rather sabotage just to look at more cards. See more cards on our side. I want to hit lands. I think at this point we get rid of the Fatal Push. Okay, I need to remember that they wrote this bear. So now, I still am really afraid of a Cavalier, so I'm gonna keep sabotage up. But yeah, make those. Also, decidedly do want to draw. Not necessarily the land we want to draw. Now I'm happy enough casting the Bankbuster. They're pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I think what they're looking to do on my turn. Like, we are totally fine with this. Again, still really trying to avoid getting cavaliered. Otherwise, could potentially look to activate it there. Troll, we also don't have a great one for. It depends. If we want to cast this Evoke Despair on curve, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we draw like a 7th land, I'm kind of fine with this. I think I want to lean towards carrying it. Alright, Narset. Narset we keep. We're kind of in Haymaker mode a little bit. Now we can use this to dig towards like memory and other stuff.
Keep an open mind.
At this point the Baleful Mastery does more than the Dispute does, just the amount of mana they have in play. Okay. A bit of a weird one where we want to pick up something with the Despair, but hey. Like if they go like Nissa, then going... When I said pick up, so I didn't mean that. Alright. And so now all of a sudden they're back down to 6 mana in play, and we're like, oh, okay, interesting. Close the shop. Yeah, I want to fetch. Go grab that swamp. Down tick Narset.
Put thoughtfulness before action.
Alright. I'm not worried about the... I'm not really worried about the Narset dying. I'm just gonna say go here. Or we could draw a pile of cards. I would like... It's like, I'd like to snag a Planeswalker with this. Or like something. It's like, at some point you kind of just wanna... Yeah. The idea was to play it when we had 7 mana, and then be able to play this and hold up the negate still. Which we can now do. We're just kind of building up a little bit of a wall before we do that, but at the same time, every draw step we give our opponent is obviously giving them more time. Fiora. Okay.
Right into battle.
That's way this. I'm gonna use this. And then we're gonna invoke Despair. Is the plan. And hold up the gate. Maybe the last card in my hand is not a forest event. Alright, Gearhulk's a nice one. Hey, it's a hold negate up. Have the record of Backbuster activation if they don't have anything. Kind of do our thing a bit. The thing we're really worried about here is like Summer Festival. Having them make this appear, this is at a point in the game where against all odds it's still relevant. Huh. Yeah. The liar. Like half and light. I still have one mystery card in hand, which I kind of was thinking was a land, but not actually sure. Okay. 7. I actually want to play an untapped land here. so that we can cast Torrential Gearhulk and hold up counter spells. I do know we have the Baleful Master. And let's go for the big one. Let's keep it up. Yeah, that's fair enough. Alright, finally got one. It took us an hour and 20 minutes. We finally got a match win. So 1 and 2 overall. And to be fair, three decks very much in the meta. Red is a troubling matchup. And you can angle your sideboard both for that or for spirits if you really want to, I think. Green is still my kind of like nod for best deck in the format. I do think this deck's good. I think this version of blue-black is better against mono-green. You could tailor further in whichever direction. That's the kind of nice thing with blue-black is that you have so many different spells. What I like to say is that blue-black is more kind of specific answers. If you want to answer for any given specific situation, the answer in blue-black is potentially better than the answer in blue-white. But the answers blue-white have are more kind of generic. They're more kind of like, farewell answers everything. Temporary Lockdown is like any CMC 2 or less permanent, right? They're all kind of like, again, like Wandering Emperor is like any creature. Sweepers, etc. And so the cards in blue-black are more situational, and that lets you tailor a bit more to combat specific things. So that's kind of why your sideboard is super important as well. Anyway, that's off my soapbox. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, maybe drop that subscribe if you've not already. And like or whatever. Other than that, hope you have a great day. And if you have anything you want to see me play, especially in the upcoming like Decathlon Explore Best of 3 events, then do let me know. Other than that, take care. Peace out.